Namaste. Welcome. Let's start our class today in our constructive rest in our Shavasana. Finding a comfortable supine position where you're warming your extra legs, having some support for your head. Releasing the whole back body to the earth. Arranging your legs and your feet, your arms and hands comfortably. And with an eye pillow maybe for the eyes. If not, just closing the eyes. And from here, place one hand onto your belly and one hand onto your chest. Beginning to feel the chest rising and falling. Beginning to feel the belly rising and falling. Inhale, exhale. Just continuing with your natural breath, feeling the air entering through your mouth or your nostrils. And then exiting again through your mouth or your nostrils. Continuing to feel and sense your breath today. On your next inhale, sensing the belly rising, then the ribs expanding and finally the chest lifting. Coming to the top of your breath below the throat. On the exhale, the breath leaves the chest, the ribs fall and the belly contracts. Continuing with this breath, feeling all three parts of the breath and think to yourself, belly, ribs and chest, and then chest, ribs, belly. Belly, rib, chest. Chest, ribs, belly. Just repeating this breath to yourself a few more times. On your next exhale, feeling the breath as a wave coming from the belly and rising to the top of the breath beneath the throat. Seeing if it's possible just to hold this breath for 2 counts. And then releasing the breath, letting the breath go in a wave from the chest out to the belly. Continuing with this wave-like breath rolling in and up, counting to 2, and rolling out like a tide. Feeling the fluidity of the breath, feeling the complete cycle of the breath, focusing only on your breath. Finishing a final cycle of this breath. And after your next complete exhale, returning to your normal and natural breath. Just feeling calmness in the breath. Feeling ease and steadiness in the breath. knees are bent, start to straighten out the legs in front of you, and when you're ready, slowly, carefully, start to take the arms up and over. Just coming into a lovely full body stretch. Breathing into that full body stretch today from your fingertips. Down through the whole length of the body, legs, feet and toes. Noticing the ribs flaring up as we stretch through each side of the torso, around those obliques, around the intercostal muscles. Maybe filling that up into the shoulders if the shoulders are tight. Just taking a moment here. When you're ready, release the arms very carefully, very slowly. Bend up the knees. Place the soles of the feet onto the floor. Bringing some awareness to the neck, the chin. Gently tuck the chin down towards the chest. Keep the neck nice and safe. Also have that length through the spine, up through the neck, up through the crown of your head. And from here, we're going to bend the knees up high over the chest. Bend your elbows and just place your fingertips on your lower abdomen. And from here, guide the knees away. So we're coming into a right angle bend through the knees. Calf muscles are parallel to the mat. Toes pointing up towards the sky. And with the fingers on the belly, see if you can sense the muscles contracting around those core abdominal muscles as you start to knit the front ribs back. You might feel a slight sensation underneath the fingertips. Keep breathing as you do that. Keep relaxing around the shoulders, the neck and the jaw. The tongue still tucking in. Inhale here. As you exhale, tuck the right foot on the floor in front of you. Inhale, bring that right knee back. As you exhale, the left foot. And continue. You can keep the fingers here or you can release the arms. But keep knitting the front ribs back. That's going to activate those core abdominal muscles and work those core abdominal muscles into the pelvic floor as well. Strengthening everything in that area. Softening the shoulders. If it's too much today around the tummy or the top of the thighs, take a break. Draw the knees in towards the chest and gently rock from side to side. A few more here. After your next exhale, hug the knees in, gently rock from side to side. Just massaging the belly and the lower back into the hips and the front of the thighs. Draw the knees back to center. Separate the fingers and cup the kneecap with the palms of the hands. Right hand on top of right knee, left hand on top of left knee. Fingers pointing down towards the toes. And start to draw circles through the knees. Not too wide. Just starting to warm up through the hips and the hip flexors, into the glutes, massaging around the kidneys and the belly. Slowly, carefully changing direction when you're ready. Draw the knees back to center, hug the knees in, gently rock from side to side. Knees come back to center, raise your right arm, keep that arm elevated as you carefully make your way onto your right side. Resting here with your head on that raised arm. Taking a moment. Allowing yourself to take a little fuller inhale and a little fuller exhale. When you're ready, start to bring awareness and attention into your left fingers, your left hand. When you're ready, push down into that hand. Use your left hand to steady yourself as you push all the way up. We're going to come straight into a tabletop position. So removing socks unless you've got your special yoga sticky socks on, and taking a folded blanket for the knees. Positioning your knees on the blanket, a nice tabletop position, looking after fingers, hands and wrists. Fingers are spread, the wrists are directly underneath the shoulders, just creating vital space with all the bones in the hands and around the ribs. Going to push into the hands to create space around the shoulders and the ears. We're lengthening all the way up through the crown of the head. We take the weight into the left knee, take the right leg behind us, point the toes and start to make small circles. Keep your gaze towards the mat. Changing direction of the circles when you're ready. Keep drawing in around the spine, so the navel, the front ribs back towards the spine. You're going to stop circling through the right leg and you're going to step that right foot, right leg off the mat. And keeping the navel drawing in, you're going to extend that left leg and cross that left leg on top of the right. Come back down onto the mat, left knee comes back down onto the mat. We take the right leg behind and point the toes. Step back off the mat, extend through the left leg, cross that left leg on top of the right. Continuing a few more times. Nice, active, dynamic plank, challenging all the muscles in the body as well as building that vital strength that we need. This is our last one. Good. We're going to swap sides. So taking the weight into the right knee. Check the fingers, wrists and hands are still comfortable. Take the left leg back, point the left toes. Circling. And then the other way. So nice length through the whole spine. Keep your gaze down towards the mat. Draw the navel in towards the spine. Stop the circling on the left leg. Step the left leg out. Step the right leg on top of the left. Bring the right knee back down. Point the left leg. Point the left toes. Continue. Couple more. And our last one. Good. Coming back down onto the blanket, let's take child's pose. Sinking the hips down towards the heels, melt the belly, the chest down. Look after the wrists, hands and fingers for a moment. Draw circles in the wrists, the fingers, moving all the time. Catch your breath. Inhale here. As you exhale, slowly, carefully uncurling the spine, coming all the way up. We're going to get ready in a moment to come into downward facing dog. So we're going to need to remove everything from our mats, please. Coming back into our tabletop position, just how we were. So looking after the fingers, the hands and wrists. The knees are hip width apart. Got that space around the hands. We're pushing the earth away. Let's come into a couple of cat-cow curls. Bring some circulation into the spine on your next inhale. Lift the sternum, your gaze forward. As we exhale, arch the back, take your gaze down towards the mat. A few more here, slowly, carefully, all the time lengthening through the spine, tailbone towards the back of the room. Keep pushing the earth away. After your next exhale, come into a lovely neutral spine. Tuck your toes under and you're ready. Shift the weight back into the thighs, coming up into your downward facing dog. Shoulders are active, maybe bending the knees. Let's walk the dog a couple of times. Stretching out the hamstrings, the back of the legs.
Releasing the neck totally so the crown of the head is down towards earth. We're going to shift the weight into the left foot, reach up with that right leg. Three-legged dog. When you're ready, you're going to start to shift the weight over the hands and step forward with that right foot. So you know if the right foot doesn't quite get into between the hands, use your hand to gently guide it there. We're going to line up that front foot and the back heel, so turn that left foot out to 45 degrees, push into the feet, come all the way up. Got a nice bend through that right knee. Let's reverse our warrior. Left hand lightly on left thigh, raise the right arm up and over, breathe. Straighten through that right leg. Reach all the way over to the right. Take the left arm up behind you. Reach, 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 reach. So if I'm pulling your hand away, coming into Trikonasana, you can rest your right hand on that right shin today. Take the left arm up, goes up to the left hand. Inhale. As you exhale, take a bend in the right knee, reverse your warrior again. Inhale. As you exhale, bring the arms up. Release the arms. Turn your hips towards the front of the mat, towards your right knee. We're going to tip forward, release the hands down, and then we're going to step back into downward facing dog. So take a moment to make that transition. When you come back into downward facing dog, walk the dog again. Check the hands and the wrists, the fingers feel okay. Take a break if you need to. Static downward facing dog. Shift the weight into the right foot, lift the left leg up. Three-legged dog on this side. Breathe in, shift the weight over the hand, step the left foot through if you can. Take the hand to place that foot there if you need to. Lining up the foot again with that right, arch of that right foot into the middle of your left foot at the front of the mat. Push down into the feet, find your reverse warrior. We've got a bend through the left knee, right hand onto right thigh. Reversing your warrior. Inhale, as we exhale, let's release the arms. Straighten through that left leg. We're going to reach, reach, reach all the way up to the left as if I'm pulling your hands away. Coming into Trikonasana, rest your left hand on your left shin. Take the right arm up, gaze up to the right hand if you can. Keep your gaze down towards the foot if that suits your neck better. Inhale. As you exhale, bring the arms back up. Take a bend in the left knee. Reverse your warrior again. Right hand on to right thigh. Taking the left arm up and over. Keeping that left knee nice and safe. The knees directly above the ankle. Inhale. As we exhale, bring the arms up. Release the arms, push into the feet, straighten through that left leg. From here, take the hands forward, framing that left foot. You're going to pivot round on the right foot, step back into downward facing dog, well done. Bending the knees, let's walk the dog again. So how are you feeling after that flow, that hatha flow with the warrior poses? Maybe a little bit warm. Static downward facing dog when you're ready. Inhale here. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Bend the knees. Keep the knees bent. Either walk the feet towards the hands, hands towards the feet. Let's come into Uttanasana. Placing the hands where they feel the best today, keeping the knees bent at all times if the lower back feels sore. You've got an option to place the hands on the shins, around the back of the legs, or make that box shape with the hands to the inner elbows. You want to release the neck totally, so the crown of the head is towards the floor. If the hands are to the inner elbows, you might want to gently rock from side to side. Coming back to centre, if you're rocking from side to side, placing the hands either side of the feet, the shins, all around the back of the legs, the calf muscles. Inhale here. As you exhale, take a bend in the knees. Start to stack each vertebrae on top of one another slowly, carefully. Fingers, hands and arms are heavy. Using the upper back body to breathe. Maybe using the core strength, strengthen the legs to make this transition safe. The last thing to come up will be your neck and your head. And then you're able to straighten out through the legs, straighten out through the knees. Come to face me in the middle of your mats. Let's come into a good Tadasana to begin with. Feet are hip width apart, sensing the connection with the toes, the four corners of the feet as they root down into the earth. So that space just below the big toes, the little toes and the end two bits underneath the heel. Rooting down through the feet, drawing that Pada Bandha energy up through the feet, the insteps, the whole length of the legs. Kneecaps are lifted and the thighs are firm, pelvis neutral. Growing and lengthening through the torso, releasing, relaxing the shoulders, taking the arms alongside the body, extending out through the crown of the head. Feeling safe and grounded in your Tadasana, in this pose. Catching your breath. Draw your navel in towards your spine. Let's sink down into Utkatasana, your chair pose. Taking the arms out in front, palms and hands together. Inhale, I'm going to tip forward. Exhale, coming back upright. Doing that a couple more times. Keep that connection around the belly. Keep the lower back drawing in, the tailbone drawing down. And our Eddie the Eagle pose. And our last one. Holding it here, breathing. See if you can squat a little bit lower. Nice. Inhale as you exhale, pushing into the feet. Coming all the way up. Releasing arms and hands. Let's come into a comfortable wide stance. But before you do that, have a block or a book handy. I'm going to come into a nice wide-legged forward bend. So maybe bringing the height to you with a block, or a book. Coming into a comfortable wide stance, still got engagement through the feet. Bring the toes in towards one another, so the heels are pointing out towards the top two corners of the mat. Nice engagement through the legs, hands onto the hips. Inhale, lengthen. As you exhale, tip forward. So as you do this, sense how the back and the hamstrings are feeling. Take a bend if you need to. So from here, you're either going to reach for your book, so be careful if you've got a book and it's a bit wobbly, or your yoga brick, or maybe you can reach the floor, but you want it out a little bit far ahead of you, not directly underneath the face. So maybe you can bring the hands to the earth, and you want to release any tension in the neck totally, the crown of the head towards the floor. Just hanging out here, breathing into the upper back body. I'm going to come into a nice Parivrtta variation, a nice rotation. So bringing the hand in towards the center of your brick, your book or the mat. Push into that hand as you rotate round towards the left. Take the left arm up, gaze up to the left hand. Keep lengthening through the spine. Keep pushing down into the feet. Be aware of the back and the hips. Breathe in. Inhale. As we exhale, release that left hand down. Swap the hands around. Bring the left hand into the middle of the mat. Keep pushing into the feet. Inhale here. As you exhale, rotate round towards the right gate. Keep your gaze up towards the right hand if you can. Breathe in. Inhale. As you exhale, release that right hand down slowly, carefully. So both hands are on the floor or on your brick or your book. Releasing the hands again. Bending the elbows. If reaching the floor for you today is easy, just bend the elbows to bring your head a little bit closer to the floor if you can. Don't worry if you can't do that. Breathing into the upper back body, that lovely lung capacity in the upper back. Nice calming pose. Carefully start to take your hands to your hips. Right hand onto right hip, left hand onto left hip. We're going to start to stack the back up. So push into the feet. Keep the knees bent. You're almost squatting as you start to bring the upper part of the torso and the head backwards. Pushing into the feet. Slowly, carefully stacking all the way up. Don't rush. Watching our blood pressure. Taking care. Nice. Release the hands. Let's heel toe back to centre. Feet directly underneath the hips. Now the fingers and the arms and hands to be heavy. Just starting to circle through the torso. Arms out to the side. Helping to release the shoulders, the sides of the body, the lower back and the belly. And start to make those circles a little bit smaller. A bit smaller. A little bit smaller. A little bit smaller. A little bit smaller. Gradually stopping. Super. We're going to come all the way down onto our mats. Our final pose before our constructive rest, our Shavasana, is a pose we've not done for a while. It's called upward plank. I'm going to offer you a couple of variations, and it all depends on how you feel after practice today, whether the energy's there, whether you feel like the lower back can actually keep up with the pose. It's going to really challenge those core abdominal muscles, the front and the back of the thighs, and especially the glutes and the shoulders. So we're going to come into a position on our mat with the knees bent, and I want you to just take the hands behind so the fingertips are towards the lower back. And just walk yourself back towards the top of your mat. So from here, we want to almost draw the shoulder blades back so we're opening the chest. And then from here, we're going to push into the feet. We're going to start to push the tummy up towards the sky. Just check how the neck is. Keep the neck engaged. Try to prevent the neck flopping back. And then come back down. Keep the hands there. Let's see if we can do that again. So draw the shoulders, take the chest forward, push into the feet. Feel that strength in the back, in the glutes, in the legs. Check how the neck's feeling. Come out when you need to. Keep breathing. Create the space around the ribs and the shoulders. So you can stay here if you want to. You can walk the feet forward. No, it's not going to work for me today. You can walk the feet forward into this position. So the toes are pointing towards the mat, but only if you want to. It might be easier to come down, extend the legs, and push straight into that position. So have a little bit of fun here for a moment, just playing around with this, just checking how the body feels, as I said earlier, what the body will allow you to do. The shoulders, the back, the legs of course. Inhale, as we exhale, slowly, carefully come out. Well done. Let's come into a seated child's pose. Bend up the knees, lower the head, hug the knees in. Nice deep breath. Maybe look after the wrists, circle the wrists a little while. Move the fingers. Inhale here. As you exhale, slowly, carefully lifting the head all the way. Let's get ready for our final Shavasana, our constructive rest. So taking a moment to put on your socks, an extra jumper or cardigan, an eye pillow for the eyes, something to support the head and a blanket. Taking time just to release the whole back body down onto the floor, releasing through the legs and the feet, the arms and the hands. The back of the neck and the head sink down into the floor. Allowing any tension around the top of the head, the scalp, just to relax and release. Around the hairline, the forehead relaxes and the eyebrows. Releasing all the muscles around the eyes and in between the eyes, so that around the third eye, around the top of the nose. Release the nose and the cheekbones. Unclenching the jaw. Releasing the tongue into the base of the mouth. Releasing the shoulders, collarbone. Working down through the arms, the lower arms, the wrists, hands and fingers. The vertebrae, the ribs and the stomach relax. The hips relax and the lower back. The legs, the knees, the calf muscles relax. The ankles and the feet and all the bones and muscles in the feet and the toes relax. Feeling calmness in the body. Feeling calmness in the breath. Integration of our practice here today. Mind, body and spirit. My spirit is grounded deep in the earth. I am calm, strong, centered and peaceful. I am able to let go of fear and trust that I am eternally safe. I am worthy of all things beautiful.
Really slowly bringing awareness back into the room. Bring awareness back to your body resting on the earth. Just allowing some small movements to come into your hands and fingers, feet and toes, circling the wrist, moving around through the hands. And as you started today, and only if you want to, just finding that lovely full body stretch, carefully taking the arms and hands overhead, stretching out the legs in front of you and enjoying that stretch all the way from your fingertips down through the whole length of the body, legs, feet and toes. Releasing the arms. Starting to think about taking a bend in the knees. When you're ready, drawing the knees up over the chest into a self-embrace. And either taking a moment of stillness or maybe gently rock from side to side. Bringing the knees back to centre. Start to raise the right arm up. When you're ready, rolling carefully onto your right side, resting here with your head on that raised arm. Allowing yourself to take a little fuller inhale and a little fuller exhale. Bring some awareness into your left fingers, into your left hand. When you're ready and in your own time, push down into that hand. Use that hand to steady yourself as you push all the way back up. Coming back up to seated. Thank you so much for your practice today. Thank you for joining me. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaste.